So over the past 2 weeks, I talked about a what if scenario about what if James Potter never died. So today I'm going to do a quick recap, basically a whole summary of the what if scenario if Voldemort only killed Lily when he tried to kill Harry. And I might change a few things. I might, go back and say, okay, I said this, but let's talk about this and let's change this part of the story because this sounds a little better. Just kind of going through the whole story. Quick little recap about the scenario. I love thinking about these what if scenarios. It's just kind of cool to think, okay, if this happened, does this happen? Or does this not happen? Because like if James survives, he could tell the ministry that, hey, Peter was the secret keeper, not Sirius, so don't send him to jail. Cool things like that just change the story in a completely different way. So we're here to do a quick summary of what if James Potter survived. Book 1 is Sorcerer's Stone, and obviously this is where everything changes on this alternate timeline of what if James Potter were to survive. First off, Voldemort goes to the house because Peter Pettigrew leaked that this is where the Potters live. James sends Lily and Harry upstairs to go hide. James tried to hold the door shut as Voldemort blasts the door open, and James goes flying, hits his head on the wall, falls down, and is knocked unconscious. Voldemort doesn't think twice. He sees him laying on the floor, and he's just in the zone. He's like, okay, you're dead. Goodbye. Steps over James's dead body, which he thinks is dead, which is not. Steps over James's dead body and walks upstairs. Tells Lily, step aside, silly girl. And I'll spare, so Voldemort gives her the option to live. And she says, no, take me, not Harry. And Avada Kedavra, right to Lily. Lily's sacrifice of love then therefore transports to Harry at that moment, creating what some Harry Potter fans, thanks to Super Card Brothers, calls a love crux. And Voldemort tries to attack Harry. That love crux basically stops Voldemort's attack and causes Voldemort to lose his powers and become a mist and disperse. House blows up. Hagrid and Sirius both show up at the house, find James, help James up. James is alive. James and Sirius look at Hagrid and say, Hagrid, please take Harry. Take Harry to safety. Sirius says, take my motorbike. Take him. Find Dumbledore. We need to take care of something. So Sirius and James tried to hunt down Peter in order to, catch Peter because Peter betrayed his two friends. Peter sees James and Sirius in the street, and Peter is just awestruck. He's like, oh, crap. He wasn't expecting this at all. In the original story, he sees just Sirius, and he goes, I got a quick plan. I'm going to frame him right now and escape. We're good. Peter immediately turns into a rat and scurries out of the sewer, out of sight. James and Sirius just, we'll get him. We'll find him one day. They tried to go on a hunt, but they can't find him. So eventually we have Harry being brought up with Sirius and James. So he knows all about the Wizarding World, has more passion on Broom, knows his dad was a seeker, knows more about his dad and has a better connection. He has a little more of an arrogancy about him because of growing up with his father and his godfather. However, he still has his flashes and his mother's memory in a way. So he still has that loveness sacrifice from his mother in him. So he still has some features of Lily, even though he didn't grow up around that. It's always there in his heart. Harry goes to school, still meets up with Ron on the train. Very similar situation where, Fred and George like, it's Harry Potter, this and that, and yeah, so still famous kid. Him and Ron still become best friends. Ron shows him Scabbers. Yada yada yada. Harry decides to go to stay home, stay at school for the holidays like he always does. His dad's like, that's fine. You made new friends. Hang out, whatever. Sorcerer's Stone goes through. Voldemort still tries to steal it. Malfoy still tries to steal Neville's Rainbow, and Harry still becomes Seeker, and his dad's ecstatic because his son, youngest Seeker in a century. So Sirius and James definitely go to school once in a while and catch a Quidditch game. Like, I'm sure parents are allowed to school to watch their kids play Quidditch. I mean, it's kind of like dumb, like your parents can't come and watch you play sports. So I think it's allowed. They don't mention it, but I would think it is. Anyway, Voldemort still is on the back of Crow's head, so the rest of the Sorcerer's Stone kind of does fit in a way. This time around, when Harry goes to the Mirror of Erised, he only sees his mother. It doesn't have the same effect on him, but it's enough for Harry to understand the Mirror of Erised and is able to get the stone out the same way. Voldemort's defeated the same way that he is in the original. Then we move on to Chamber of Secrets, where basically Chamber of Secrets is the same. However, you still have the attacks of the Basilisk. This time around, no, Harry does communicate with his father and asks him a few questions. It's not like, am I Slytherin's heir? No, blah, blah, blah. Where he could tell him, like, does James know that he's a Pevil? Because, I mean, the cloak gets passed down. I'm going to hit myself here. But no. Events of Chamber of Secrets happen very similar. They go out to the chamber, save Ginny, so on and so forth. Not much has changed. Then it comes around for Prison of Azkaban, where Lupin discovers Peter. I'm just curious though, because does Lupin ever see Scabbers at all in the story? Like, does he not seem like that looks familiar? I mean, I guess he wasn't thinking about it because oh, Peter's dead, so he probably just didn't take a second glance at the rat. But this time around, he knows Peter's alive. He knows Peter's the traitor, and he knows Peter disappeared. No one can find him. Would he recognize Peter? Would he see that rat and go, that rat looks suspicious? Yes, he would. He talks to Dumbledore. He says, I found him. You need to get James and Sirius here right away. Ron's rat Scabbers looks very familiar to me. And I do want to apologize because Peter Pettigrew is Animagus. So is James. So is Sirius. They did it for me. Dumbledore was not mad. He goes, you guys betray my trust. You're kids. You're kids. You're dumb. You're young. It's fine. So James and Sirius show up to school. They talk to Dumbledore. They again apologize. They look, we should have told you. We were just trying to help our friend here kind of live a little more being a werewolf and so like that. We want him to have a great time. So we did it for him so we could be with him in those tough times. Dumbledore understands and says it's okay. In the original story, Lupin is kind of worried about telling him because he's like, I betrayed him. I betrayed Dumbledore. He brought me to school and I betrayed him. But I think Dumbledore either way would be understanding of the whole situation. So Lupin tells him that Harry's friend Ron has a rat. This rat is very suspicious. Looks awfully familiar, as well as is pretty old for a rat. It has been with them for 13 years now. Oh, no, sorry, 12 years. Yeah, 12 years. This rat has been with the Weasley family for a long time. And when they question him, they have to get Peter to transfer back into Peter, and they capture him, and he gets locked up in Azkaban. I could definitely see Sirius and James wanting to kill him, but Dumbledore's like, no. And I think if Harry was present, because Harry should know the truth, Harry definitely does the same thing. No, send him to Azkaban. You can't do it. So like he still has that, like that mom wouldn't want you to kill him. He was your friend, yes. He betrayed you, yes. But don't kill him. Send him to Azkaban. So Peter gets sent to Azkaban. Where at the same time that Peter is going to Azkaban, we also have Trelawney's message about the Dark Lord returns and servant will go back to him tonight. Well, that does happen, but it's not Peter, because Peter's sent to Azkaban. At the same time that Peter's in Azkaban, if you remember, while Sirius was in Azkaban before he escaped, so like before all this happened, Barty Crouch Jr. was removed from Azkaban under the Polyjuice potion of his mother so that he could come out, and his mother drank Polyjuice potion of him so that she could die in prison so they could think it was him, so they could bury his body, and it was thought that Barty Crouch Jr. died in Azkaban. However, he was at home with his dad under the Imperius Curse, and we actually do know that Voldemort came to him along with Peter. However, his mind and everything else, he was able to break his father's Imperius Curse, and he ventured out in search for Voldemort. And he was able to find, not the same way Peter was to find him about talking to rats, but he was able to find Voldemort that very night in order to fill the prophecy, and the events of Goblet of Fire still take place. Voldemort tells Barty Crouch Jr. to go back home to be with his father, tell his father this, so he goes to, the Quidditch World Cup, just to keep an eye on a few things. And they already got, what's her name? So he already killed Bertha Jorkins, found out about the Triwizard Tournament, and everything else. And the events do take very similar place, just without Peter. So who's going to be in the cemetery if Barty Crouch Jr. still needs to play the role of Professor Moody at the school in order to get Harry to the cup? Well, very easily, it could just be Barty Crouch. He could just somehow escape once he knows Harry's close to the cup, and then get transported to, he get apparated or something like that outside Hogwarts, head down to the village, and apparate to the cemetery before Harry gets there in order to take everything. And Harry and Cedric are there. Cedric is killed, of course, and then we have, well, to backtrack real quick, hold on. With the events of the Trials of Torment, Harry is able to talk to his dad and godfather about the events and kind of help him along as well. So, Voldemort's plan didn't really work out because he didn't need Barty Crouch Jr. Barty Crouch Jr. could have been just in the cemetery with him, and Harry probably would have won anyway. With the help of his dad and Sirius, he probably would have won, and he still would have been there for you, Cedric, and you two would have still touched the cup and still gone to the cemetery together. So, but Voldemort wanted to ensure that he got there. So Cedric dies, and then we see Moody, and Harry's like, "What are you doing here? Like, you're a teacher. You're a friend of Dumbledore. Like, what is going on? What is this place? We have to go back to school. Why'd you kill Cedric? Like, what is going on?" Harry's just beyond confused, and then Moody starts to transform back into Barty Crouch Jr., and Harry recognizes from the pensive, and he's like, "You're Barty Crouch Jr." And he goes, "Yeah." So the whole thing, strap Harry down. The spell is created to revive Voldemort's body. Voldemort fights Harry. We have the connection of the twin cores. Harry sees his mom, and his mom says, "I'll hold him off. Go back." Cedric says, "Takes my body back." The whole thing. Boom. Next, we have Order of the Phoenix. Order of the Phoenix does begin off the same. They still go to Sirius's house for the headquarters of Order of the Phoenix, so on and so forth. The Ministry still try to take over. We still have that heartless bitch, Dolores Umbridge. She still tortures Harry, still makes him like, "I will not tell lies," this and that. And Harry doesn't tell his dad about this or Sirius. He does confide in them in other ways, but then Dolores starts intercepting letters, so he needs to find other ways to contact him. And he still has the vision of Arthur Weasley, so they still go home to visit Arthur Weasley in the hospital, still have Christmas at 12 Grimmauld Place, and his dad gives Harry a mirror and says, "I have the other, you can communicate with me through this mirror." He tells him right off the bat, unlike Sirius. Sirius just gave him a package. It was like, "Yeah, this will help you out." And Harry just threw it in his case and never looked at it again, never opened it. If he opened it, he would have read it back. He would be like, "I could have talked to you." Would change the story a lot. Sirius gives him the pocket knife, and they go back to school. Harry starts getting visions of his dad being in the Ministry trying to find the prophecy, and he's in a panic. Hermione's like, "We need to make sure he's not there, this and that." And Harry picks up the mirror and tries to talk to his dad. His dad's not answering. He's in a panic. So he breaks into Dolores Umbridge's office, use the fireplace to go to Grimmauld Place. Well, put his head through to Grimmauld Place to try to find his dad. Creature says he's not there. He says, "What about Sirius? Is Sirius here?" He's not here. Now the same thing that kind of happened in the real story. Sirius is upstairs fixing Buckbeak's cut leg that Creature did. James, unfortunately, is out running an errand for Dumbledore, not knowing that Creature basically told Harry, yeah, he's well, James is out doing something, not entirely sure what, but he's out of the house, and the Creature was able to get him out of the house for a particular plan because he does go to Bellatrix, and Bellatrix basically forces him to tell this lie to Harry, so that Harry does go to the Ministry to correct the prophecy, and so on and so forth, and the battle ensues. And then we have the battle in the Ministry, and unfortunately, this is where Sirius does still die. So now Harry only has his father. He lost his godfather, which was like a second father to him growing up, so he is very upset still, and so on and so forth. But James is there to comfort him. Then we move on to the Half-Blood Prince, where Harry does still find the book, but he asks his dad, like, about this and that, and he does find out about his dad using the spell to dangle up in the air on Snape. So he talks to his dad and, kind of comforts him on that, because the previous year, Oh, wait, it was the Order of the Phoenix. So yeah, he saw that memory pass, so he already talked to his dad about that past year. So Half-Blood Prince goes basically the same. And then when Harry tells his dad that Snape was evil all along, his dad's like, yeah, I kind of figured as much. So James and Harry go to the Burrow for the grand wedding. And they have the wedding, the Death Eaters attack. So the Battle of Seven... Damn it. How did that work? Well, they can still have the Battle of Seven Powders, just James is there. And anyway, Battle of Seven Powders still happens. James is there as well to help out. Maybe James fills in for Mundungus, because Mundungus is a dick. And this way Moody doesn't die. They all make it back to the Burrow. They all have a grand wedding party for Bill and Fleur. And then Death Eaters show up, ruin the party. Harry, Ron, and Hermione still do escape. And James goes into hiding on his own back at Grimmauld Place. And this is after Snape sneaks there. So Snape has already been to Grimmauld Place, found the letter and all that stuff. So the events of Deathly Hallows go very similar. Harry, Ron, Hermione find the Horcruxes, all that stuff. Things are all good. Everything happens the same, except for when they go to Grimmauld Place, they do find James, and James helps him out. Obviously, they can't leave because Death Eaters are looking for James as well. Lupin shows up, this and that, and talks about this kid and how he wants to basically leave and blah 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 and go with Harry. And even James like, Lupin, it's okay. Harry's got it. You need to be there for your son, please. We're all here. If we need you, we'll call. I'm here as well. So on and so forth. Yada yada. Obviously, Harry doesn't tell his dad what he needs to do because Dumbledore said you need to keep it a secret like this. You can't tell anyone. So Harry took that to heart and basically kept it between him, Ron, and Hermione. they're hanging out there for a little bit, helping Creature, making Creature happy, so on and so forth, and they come up with the plan to break into Ministry to try to find the locket. And James is just sitting there like, I'm not getting involved. You guys need to do this. That's fine. I trust you. I'm gonna hang out here. If you need me, I'm here. So he doesn't butt in, lets them do the planning on their own, so on and so forth. They do break into Ministry, but they don't come back. So James is like, where'd they go? I don't know if they are alive, so on and so forth. It's okay. So everything happens just the same. Then the Battle of Hogwarts ensues, and this is where, unfortunately, James does eventually die. He survived the whole story up until the Battle of the Potters. Then when Harry finally goes and sacrifices himself in the woods to Voldemort, he creates a Lovecrux for everybody else in the castle. That's why none of the spells are able to harm his friends when they go back and try to take over the school. Harry explains all this to Voldemort, obviously, about the wand is actually my wand, so you can't use it. Have you ever wondered why your spells aren't affecting my friends? Because I sacrificed myself, because I was willing to die out there in the woods to protect them. The same way my mother did for me, which is why you couldn't kill me. And you still can't kill me. Because you tried twice. And I'm still standing. And then Expelliarmus, Avada Kedavra, two wands meet. Will Harry's wand defeat his old wand? Yeah, because the elder wand's like, dude, I don't know who you think you are, but I am not yours. So I'm gonna just let go a little bit and have that spell come and push this Avada Kedavra spell back into you and kill you. And series done. Harry marries Ginny. Ron marries Hermione. They grow up, blah, 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 blah. And they have a grand adventure. Obviously, Harry misses his father, but he at least got the chance to learn more from his father, and his father got to be there throughout the story. So hit that button, hit the subscribe button, comment down your thoughts below about this whole what if scenario. What would you change? Anything in the story that happened that you would rather change, or anything that I changed that maybe you thought shouldn't have changed? Let me know down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Before you go, make sure you check out that playlist right there, which is all of the what if videos that I summarized in this shorter video. See you next time.